a little bit today, before we start, about your glutes. So a lot of you who have joined the yoga group have all talked to me about wanting to get stronger. And you'll notice the last couple of weeks we've started to do balance poses. And I talk a little bit about what I call glad wrapping your glutes. And it makes a lot of sense if you can see the picture of the glute. So if you can tap on that picture of the anatomy, if you haven't already, so it's bigger, and see how number 23 on the picture is this massive muscle. Your glute's one of your biggest muscles in the body. And can you see how it sort of almost glad wraps to the sacrum or the tailbone? And the sacrum, I'll just touch the other screen. The sacrum is this bit, and here's the big glute. And so when we're doing standing poses, and this will really help you for those who are going to go on and do the strengthening classes as well, when we're doing anything standing, think about how the muscle, it actually comes from your sacrum and then comes out. But I want you to imagine that you're glad wrapping it back to the midline. And it really often helps when you touch muscles to wake them up. So if you're finding that when you're trying to balance, you're really unsteady, just actually give that muscle a tap. But think of that picture of glad wrapping the glute to the midline. After today's class, I'll also send you a little video to watch about that. But hopefully that visual will help you during class today. So let that one go. And now get yourself really comfortable seated in a chair. I'll just put this on gallery view so I can see you better. So now if you want to turn to face me, just put your chair on your mat, David. So welcome. Last week we started to look at alternate nostril breathing. And alternate nostril breathing is a really powerful way to calm your nervous system and to bring balance. And so we did the practice, what I call mental, where you don't use your hand at all. So we'll start our class with that, and at the end I'll show you another version. So make sure that your feet are grounded. Remember, we've talked about in the last couple of weeks finding the middle of your sit bone. So if you need to rock your pelvis forward or rock back. And if you're still not sure, remember you can sit onto your hands and really feel those bottom bones. They're your ischial tuberosities. And find the middle of them. And then take your hands out. Resting your hands in your lap. Feel free to close your eyes or just soften your eyes towards the floor. And feel, sense, and imagine that you breathe in through your left nostril. And it's like you're bringing the breath to the point between your eyebrows. And as you breathe out, you feel, sense, or imagine that you're exhaling through the right. Then feel, sense, and imagine that you're breathing in through the right. Feel, sense, imagine you're breathing out through the left. So it takes 2 breaths to do a full round. When you need to breathe in through the left. Breathing out through the right. In through the right. And out through the left. Keep going with this version if you feel that your nostrils are not as clear as they could be. Or if you'd like to bring your hand up, if your nostrils are open and clear, you take your dominant hand, index and middle finger touch the point between the eyebrows. You close off the right nostril gently and you breathe in through the left. Then you gently close the left, open the right and breathe out through the right. No strain. Breathe in through the right. Close the right, open the left and exhale through the left. Let's do one more, with or without the hand, you decide. Breathing in through the left. Closing the left if you're using the hand, open the right, exhale right. Breathing in through the right. And exhaling through the left. And then lower your hand, and if you'd like to, you can bring all the tips of your fingers together. In yoga, we use things called mudras, hand gestures. And you just rest your hands into your lap and just notice the effects of alternate nostril breathing. Feel free to keep your hands where they are. If you would like to dedicate this practice or set an intention for your practice, feel free to bring your hands to your heart space. Atha Yoga Nu Shasanam. This is the first Yoga Sutra, which means it is with great respect and infinite love that we now come to this practice. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. And gently releasing your hands. In yoga, we do a lot. You've noticed I taught you salute to the sun last week. And so there's a whole sequence about salute to the moon. And this week is a full moon. So there'll be a bit of a practice or emphasis on our practice today of balancing the lunar and the solar. And just a little bit of history about that. In yoga and in that the belief of that we're more than just a physical body, your right side is the solar side, the physical, and the left side is the lunar. So today, this practice is about bringing them into balance. So as you breathe in, draw your arms around you and let your palms touch above your head. Look up if that's right for your neck, or just look ahead. And then release, I'll mirror you, release your left hand down and come on over to your left. And you can hold your chair, or if you're on the couch, just lean into the couch. And then let's bend the elbow and draw the elbow and hand back down. So remember, if you've had any surgery around your shoulder or your chest, just go gentle. You might even need to change the angle that you reach. And then bend your elbow. And one more time, reaching over towards the left. And then take that left arm down and turn your palm up. Sorry, the right arm down and turn the palm up. And turn your whole body a little bit towards the left. And if you've got your hand on your chair, remember you can use the pressure of the left hand on the chair to help you turn. And then take that left hand with the palm up, the one behind you, take it up in the air. And go over into a little side bend this way. And again, if you need to bend your elbow or even release the hand to the front of the chest, listen to that. And then let's take that hand now, the left hand, and reach it across to the other leg. Take your legs a little wide and shimmy to the front of your chair if you're a fair way back. And then just start to sink yourself down until you find your edge. So remember, in yoga, we talk about the edge is the place where you feel the resistance and you can still breathe gently and easefully. So then sink your elbows down a little lower and bring your hands to cup the outside of your shoulders, releasing your head. And then roll yourself up. So it's like you've given yourself a hug and you roll yourself up. And then turn your trunk and your ribs like a barrel to the left. Come back to the middle and turn to the right. Come back to the middle, turning to the left, turning to the right. And then let your hands, if you needed to go deeper. So if you're already a really strong edge, you'll stay here. If you need to go deeper, you'll bring your hands together. And then again, let's sink. So you could be still holding the shoulders or hands together and slowly roll up. And flow with your breath. If you find a sweet spot where you go, oh, that actually feels like the resistance I want to stay and breathe into, then stop moving, but let your breath still flow, that really gentle abdominal breath, focusing the awareness around your lower ribs at the front and back. And then next time you breathe in, roll all the way up. Separate your arms out. And release the right hand down towards the chair or the couch. So going to your right side, mirroring. Yeah. So you put the hand either on the chair, on your leg, or on the couch, depending where you are. And remember, as you bring your left arm up, if you need to be gentler with your shoulder, you might change the angle, or you can even bend the elbow and lift more from the ribs. If it's okay to extend the arm, and then you bend the elbow and reach. And flow with your breath. So slow it down, wait until you need to breathe out to reach. And remember, you can change the angle. So if there's any resistance in your shoulder, you could go more across your body. then over your head. And also notice that how linked in your shoulder is with your neck. So if there's tension in your neck, as you do this, turn and look to the floor a little, and that might be more comfortable. Then take this hand up and then turn your body to the right, and you, with your palm up, you bring the left hand to the outside of the leg. So we're twisting to the right. Then pick up the other hand that's on the chair and come into a little side bend. Again, you can have the elbow bend, you can have the arm extended. So remember, I give you lots of variations so you find your edge, your place where you can feel the resistance, it's not pain, and you can still breathe. And then let's take that hand across the body, palms are both up. And if you can, with your elbows straight, you slide your hands further out away from your legs, and you'll go into a deeper stretch behind your shoulders. Stay here or sink a little lower, and then cup your shoulders, release your head, and roll up one vertebrae at a time. And then release yourself forward again. And let's do this with breaths. So as you need to breathe in, roll on up. As you need to breathe out, you curl and come back down. If you come to a point where you go, actually, that's where I feel the resistance the most and I want to stay still and breathe into it, then honour that, meaning that you listen to what you need and you breathe into that. And the next time you need to breathe in, let's all roll back up. Unravel your arms, take them wide, and then feel like you're bringing all your focus back home as you bring your hands back together. And we'll come into the circle of joy that we've played with the last couple of weeks. As you breathe in, interlace your fingers and draw your elbows high. As you breathe out, you're going to press your hands forward on any angle that gets into where you need it. So it might be more down to your knees, or notice, is it better for you if you go straight ahead? Elbows don't even need to be straight, remember. Listen to your body. Then as you breathe in, take your arms up, and again, the elbows could be bent. As you breathe out, release your arms around behind you. I'll go side on so you can see. I want you to slump and roll your shoulders back and then move your elbows towards straight if you need to. So you could be at your resistance point here. Stay there. If anyone needs to go deeper, you might even like to come forward. But it's only you and your body in the pose, so you know where your edge is. So trust that. And then if you've come forward, roll yourself back up. Release your hands and feel like, again, you're gathering all your focus and you bring it back. Nice. Then take your legs wide and hold on and cup the front of your knees. So at any time today, we're going to do some stuff on the floor on our knees. And if that's not right for you, I want you to come back to this position and do this cat-cow sitting. So as you breathe in, you arch your back and draw back on your hands and let your breastbone move forward. Let your shoulders go away from your ears if you can. And then as you breathe out, you tuck your tail and round your whole spine. I'll show you a side-on view of that as well. So as you breathe in, you rock to the front of the chair, you draw back on your hands. So if your knees are not happy being pulled back on, just pull back on the thighs. And you look ahead, trying to draw your shoulder blades back. And then the next time you breathe out, round. And let your head be the last thing to release. And let's do that one more time. So this is a seated cat-cow. And then come to the middle of your sit bones. Bring your feet back in and make your way up into standing. And as you stand up, bring your chair so that the high edge of the back of your chair is facing you. So remember, at home or even in here, it's often easier to balance without socks on. So depending on how warm your floor is at home, you might want to take your socks off. And we're going to start with a sequence called Salute to the Moon. So stand a little way away from your chair. You'll end up stepping forward towards it in a moment. Sound going okay at home? Yeah, great. So bring your hands again into that Hakini Mudra where you're holding the moon between your hand. And as you breathe in, you draw your arms around you. And then step your left foot forward. And bring your fingertips to the chair in front of you. So lift your back heel if you can. And this is when you really need to glad wrap that back glute to the midline. So wake it up. Bend your back knee, tuck your pelvis a little. And then take your breath in, take the right hand up. And a gentle side bend towards the left. So again, if your shoulder's not sore, remember you can just side bend from your ribs. You don't have to have the arm up. Come back to the middle. And then swap hands. Left hand up. And as you side bend to the right, don't let your legs move. So glad wrap your glutes. Come back to the middle. Turning now towards your front leg. Maybe extending your arms out. And again, glad wrap those glutes. Squeeze your glutes. Come back to the chair. Well done. Now, really important as we go the other way, that you feel like you're drawing your shin, your front shin to the middle of the mat or to your standing position as you turn. Good work. Don't let your legs move. So your knee should be tracking, Vic, right over your middle two toes, and that's for everybody. Front knee. Come back to the middle. Bring your elbows down onto the chair and step back into a flat back. So that, remember, is knees bent a lot. Send your sit bones back. Again, if your shoulders are not happy, come further forward. Even just put your hands on the chair so your shoulders can be more relaxed and see if you can find a flat back. And then come forward with your elbows on the chair and draw back. You can have your hands together. Draw back on your elbows to let your breastbone move forward, just like we were in that cat-cow. So it's like the cow part. And then release, chin to chest. You can walk your hands and hang. You can put your hands on your elbows on your thighs and hang. Let there be no tension in your neck. Have a little yes, have a little no. Think about your feet. This idea of having 4 car tires on your feet, a tire under your big toe, a tire under your little toe, and the inner and outer blade of your feet. And then bend your knees, go down to come up, and slowly roll up. Draw your arms around you. Hakini Mudra again with the hands. Stay where you are, I'll just go side on so you can see me, and bring your hands to your heart. And then let's go to the other side. So the chair's fine where it is. Take a breath in. Step your right foot forward and bring your fingertips to the chair. So lift the back heel. Make sure that this front knee is tracking over your middle two toes. So if it's rolling in, you might need to bring your back foot a little further out to the side. Now glad wrap your glutes. Take the first hand up. Again, listen to your shoulder range. And you're coming into a side bend, but this is really about your ribs. So if it's better for you to just get the hand out of the way, you can put it on your chest, you can put it on your head, and don't let your legs move. That's the challenge. Come back to center, swap hands. Other hand can go all the way up or across your chest and side bend through your ribs. I think I'm a little teapot when I do this. Remember that nursery rhyme? Let your ribs tip over. Come back to the middle. Fingertips together this time, if you can, balance-wise, and turn towards the front leg. Stay here or straighten your arms. Nice work. Bring the fingertips back together. We're going the other way. This is where you really have to squeeze your heel and your shin to the midline. So that front knee, have a look down at it, make sure it's still tracking over your middle two toes. Come back to the middle, hands on the chair. Step back to your flat back. So that could be elbows on the chair. Some of you might even like to go deeper and step back further into this sort of down dog version. So remember, you draw the ribs up, you bend your knees, let them track over your toes, your middle toes, and find a nice stretch through your whole back. It's like you're trying to reach your sit bones to the wall behind you. And then from here, find your forward bend. So it could be elbows on your thighs, or it could be hanging with your hands towards the floor. Knees are bent a lot. You don't want any pressure in your back from your hamstrings restricting your back movement. So hang, have a little yes, have a little no, and then put weight in your feet, go down to come up, and slowly roll up. Draw your arms around you, and bring your hands to your heart. Stay where you are, I'll just come front on so you can see. And just stand for a moment and feel the essence of, it's called Chandra Namaskar, salute to the moon. I'm going to do it again, but I'm going to give you the option to do the version on the floor. So if you're feeling like that's actually enough for me, you could have a break and, as I said, do cat-cow. You could do it again with the chair. So I'll end up doing both. I'll leave the chair there and I'll do the other version in front. So if you are comfortable on the floor, on your knees, this is the other version. So Vic, you're going to stay with the first version, yeah? Totally up to you. See how your knees feel. Everyone okay? And then hands are at your heart space. So as you breathe in, you draw your arms around you. You're going to step your left foot forward. So Vicky, you'll step forward to the chair. And if you're on the ground, we just take our hands forward. Make sure your knee is tracking over your middle two toes. Then separate your hands and a gentle side bend. So again, Vic, you leave your left hand on the chair. Everyone stay where you are. Just remind Vicky, you're like so. Come back. Swap hands on the chair if you're using the chair, or if you're on the floor, the right hand can come to your pelvis. Come back to center, fingertips touch, turning towards your front leg first. So feel free to stay on the floor, or if it's better for you to be up here, do it up here. Turning to the right now. So as you turn away, really squeeze your shin into the midline, don't let it move. Good work, come back to center. If you're on the chair, hands on the chair, step back. If you're on the floor, come with me, step back to your hands and knees and lower yourself to the floor and come up into a sphinx. So as you're on the floor, your elbows are grounded, you're drawing back on your hands, looking forward. So Vicky, stay there if you're in sphinx. This is what we were doing here before. Then if you're on the floor, come to your hands and knees and press back into what's called child. If you're on the chair, you're coming back into a down dog. So child looks like this, where you sink your buttocks to your heels and you either take your hands out in front, you might need to make a fist stack to rest your head on. Or if your head touches the floor, you might even bring your hands down beside your feet. All variations. So if you're on the chair, this is when you're in the forward bend. And then when you're ready, we're all going to roll up into standing. So from child, rock back on your feet, slowly make your way. From child, come to your hands and knees, tuck your toes, rock back, hang for a moment in this forward bend, or hang completely, and then everyone roll up. Draw your arms around you, palms or fingertips touch above your head, and bring your hands to your heart. Surya Namaskar. So now we need to do the other side. So if you're going to use a chair, stand behind the chair. If you're on the floor, come back down to either this pose, which is called Vajrasana, or if that's not right for your knees, you start up here. Everyone takes a breath in and we draw the arms around, palms above your head. You're going to step your right foot forward this time. Palms come together if you're on the floor. Make sure your knee is tracking over your middle two toes as you come forward. Then you come out of the lunge. Go towards the front leg first. So please make sure your shoulder's happy. It can be across your body. It can even be I'm a little teapot, hand on the ribs. Come back to the middle and then go the other way. So if your shoulders needs you to be gentler, then do I'm a little teapot. Otherwise, you can extend your arm up. Come back to the middle. Fingertips together. Turn towards the front leg first. Squeeze your glutes. Good work. Come back to the middle. Squeeze that shin to the midline and turn away from the front leg without letting it move. So just check your knees still tracking over your toes. And come back to center. So if you're on the chair, Vic, this is where you put your hands on and step back. If you're on the floor, come onto your hands and knees. Release to the floor. Come into a Sphinx and tuck your toes. And we're going to add a little rotation. So you're going to turn and look towards one heel and let your ribs come with you. Then come back to the middle and go the other way. So on the chair, Vic, you can still be on your elbows and you turn and look to one heel, come back. Let's do it one more time each side. Turn and look to one heel. Try and let your ribs come with you. Notice how that makes it easy to turn and go the other way. Come back to center. If you're on the chair, then you'll make your way back into a forward bend. If you're on the floor, lower yourself down. Hands under your chest. Come to your hands and knees. Release into child. Find a child that works for you. So your child could be a fist stack, could be a pillow underneath your buttocks. You might even need something under the front of your feet. See if you can have 3 or 4 really relaxed breaths in your forward bend. And if you're in standing, just bring your elbows onto your thighs and hang your head. Let there be no tension. This is a standing child, if you like. And then the next time you breathe in, we'll all start to roll back up into standing. So bring your hands forward if you're in child, tuck your toes, rock back, slowly hang. Remember, you can hang with just your arms hanging down, or if you need more support for your back, you put your elbows on your thighs. And then you tuck your pelvis and slowly roll up. Draw your arms around you and bring your hands to your heart. Palms apart, Hakini Mudra. And then just close your eyes or soften your eyes for a moment, look at the floor and just feel how you, notice how you feel. Chandra Namaskar. And then come closer to your chair and we're going to do salute to the sun, just one round. And then for some of you, it'll be time to just sit and do a forward bend. And if anyone wants to do a salute without the chair, we'll do it without the chair. You are just seeing me as your main screen at home, right?
Yep. Yeah.
Good. It's just on mine. You're seeing, I'm just going to pin me. On mine, I'm seeing other people. Just wanted to make sure. So, Surya Namaskar, bring your hands to your heart. Salute to the sun. As you breathe in, you draw your arms around you. As you breathe out, you're going to step back a little so you can roll to that forward bend. Elbows on your thighs. Remember, you could have your hands on your chair if you prefer. Then find a flat back, which means you lift up and lengthen your spine. And step your right foot back. Get glad wrap your glutes and then either keep your hands on the chair or take them up. Keep them shoulder width apart. Bring your hands back to the chair. Step back into what we call a chair down dog. So knees are bent, knees are tracking over your middle 2 toes. Feel your sit bones move back, enjoy the length in your spine and let your head go. The more you bend your knees, the easier it is to find that flat back. And then slowly roll up towards standing and step the right foot forward to the chair. Lift the back heel, glad wrap your glutes, and take your hands off the chair. Then release, fingertips to the chair. You're going to retract, step forward. You need to be able to find a flat back, so that could be on the chair, or you can have your hands on your shins or your elbows on your thighs. So you want your back so straight that you could rest your favourite drink on it. And then release into a forward bend. And then let's go down to come up and slowly roll up. Draw your arms around you and bring your hands to your heart. Salute to the sun and just notice, if you put your hands down, soft eyes, can you feel how there's a big difference between what you feel after salute to the sun and salute to the moon? They have a very different effect on our energy bodies. And then if you feel like I need to just pause for a moment, feel free then to sit back into your chair. And if you're enjoying forward bends, come forward and just hang, or even be in child and hang. Or if you'd like to this week do a salute to the sun without the chair, then join me. We'll do a gentle one. So come to the top of your mat. Hands are at your heart. Take a breath in as you take your hands up. Maybe look up or look ahead. And then let's roll down all the way as far as you can into your forward bend. When we're doing these standing poses, you want your feet to be hip width apart, which is 2 fists between your big toes. So just check that's where you are. Bend your knees a lot. And then release your head. Find your flat back, fingertips on the floor if you can, or hands on shins. Favorite drink on the back, on your lower back. Take your sit bones back, bend your knees even more. Fingertips to the floor now. Take your right foot back and let's lower the knee and draw your hands forward, taking them skyward, looking ahead or maybe looking up. Check that your front knee is still tracking over your middle 2 toes. Looks good, David. Bring your hands back down and frame your front foot. Step back to a full plank, or like we did before, the knee plank. Release to the floor. Come back into cobra, a sphinx, or join me with your hands wide, so off your mat if you've got a mat, and come up into a wide hand cobra. And then slowly release. Inhale to your hands and knees. Release to child or down dog. So remember, this is child. So if you're pausing, feel free to go forward into your forward bend and just enjoy breathing easily. Or if you'd like to come in down dog, you plant your hands on the floor, shoulder width apart, whole rim of your hands presses down. You lift your knees, but keep your knees very bent. So find the length in your spine. And then walk out your feet if you like, walking out through your legs, pressing one heel down, bending the opposite knee. When it's right for you to lower your knees back down to child, listen to that. Checking how everyone's going. So from child, let's all roll back up into a high kneel and step the right foot forward, the same leg you took back. Then imagine you're dragging that back knee forward as you take your hands up. Releasing your fingertips. Lift your back knee. Come forward. Find a flat back. So that could be elbows on your thighs, fingertips on the floor, hands on your shins. Then release and roll up. One vertebrae at a time. Draw your arms around you. Palms come together with salute to the sun and hands back to your heart. And stand for a moment. And again, just notice. So one of the reasons I'm including the salutes is that the majority of you really wanted to build strength as well as flexibility. So we're doing that by doing salutes and building strength as well as flexibility in the body. So let's come into some balances before we come to the floor. So if you need your chair for balancing, please have it close by. I'm going to start with that 5-part balance, and maybe have the chair on your left side. When I look at myself in my screen, I am not mirrored. Can I ask you a question? Is that my right hand that's up in the air?
Yes.
Yeah, so I'm not mirrored to you. I'm mirrored by the computer. Yeah, great. So I don't have to mirror you. Wow, that's a new world for me. When you're live, I have to pretend that's my left arm.
Shelley?
Yes.
Shelley, my Zoom's frozen.
Is that you, Suze? No.
No, it's Karen.
Karen. It's Karen, yep.
Yeah.
So Karen,
yeah.
what you can do is if you take your video off, often you can still see me and I just can't see you, which won't matter now for the balance because I think you know these balances. They're ones we've done last week. So you can just take your video off and usually that works. Just turn off your own video.
Okay.
See how you go. So when you're ready, you're going to take a breath in and you rise up onto the balls of your feet and you lift your right hand up. So at the top of your breath, you're at the top of your reach. Palm faces in. So turn your palm in. Other way, Terry. Yep. And then slowly lower yourself down so that your hand will touch your thigh as your heels sink to the ground as you finish your breath. Right hand again, breathing in, rising up. So you might need to move faster than me or slower depending on your breath. Your hand touches your thigh as your heels sink to the earth as you finish your breath. Both hands, feel free to keep the heels down or to challenge your balance, you lift the heels, rising up, find a focus point on the ground in front of you. Turning your palms away, squeeze your heels into the midline to help you balance and slowly lower down. Heels, hands, finishing breath. Turn the palms out, take them around your body. See if you can rise to the balls of your feet. It's fine to stay flat-footed, but just reach up tall and then slowly exhale. You might even just lift your heels a tiny bit and let them sink down just at the end. Both hands now go across the body, taking a breath in, reaching up. Turn your palms away and slow motion release. Hands touch your thighs as your heels sink into the earth as you finish your breath. 5-part balance. Let's move the chair to the other side. Or move your body if your chair's not that easy to move. As you breathe in, left hand rises up, fingertips on the chair if you need it. Turn your palm away and slowly lower. Really squeeze the heels to the midline. Feel how you're glad wrapping your glutes to help you balance and come back down. Same hand again, reaching up. When you need to breathe out, turn your palm away, slowly release. Both hands in front. So remember, if it's too challenging to lift both heels up, just lift the hands, reach tall, and maybe just at the top you sneak your heels up a tiny bit. Then turn your palms away. Slow motion release. And again, just at the end, you sink the heels back down. Take your hands out to the side and up. Palms touch above your head. If you're lifting all the way up, really squeeze your heels together. Then turn your palms away and slow motion release. Sink your heels, sink your hands. Let everything go. Then cross your hands in front of your body. Reach up. You can even stay here for an extra breath if you want to challenge. And then you'll turn your palms away and slow motion release. And switch off. So Margaret, if you're having trouble with your internet at home, if you turn just your video off, You'll still be able to see me because we're heading towards relaxation soon, so it won't matter if you can't see the video. I can't see you. Yeah, if you just turn the video off at your end, it often helps with the internet. So now you're going to slowly make your way down to the floor and you're coming to your back. So if you feel you need a pillow under your head, grab your pillow or your blanket and gently come down however you wish. So you might come down through a squat and then roll through your spine. Or you might just come to your back and then bring your knees into your chest and roll through your spine. So remember we were talking about when you cup your hands behind your knees and roll. Can you feel how it's quite easy to jump from your pelvis to your upper lower back and sort of miss that really lower bit? So if that's where you're stiff and you're okay to roll, you hold on with your forearms and you curl yourself into a tight little ball and you roll. And then when you're ready, come all the way down, hug your knees into your chest. So we were a bit more active today with our standing poses. And so just notice how you feel as you bring your knees into your chest. Even place your feet down on the floor, hip width apart for a moment. Just let your arms relax beside you. And let your breath settle. Think about where your diaphragm is, that junction of your lower ribs, and how the diaphragm attaches up into itself in the front. And at the back, it attaches into your ribs. And it has two little feet that attach to your lower back. So you might even like to put your hands on your belly. Just take a soft breath in to your upper abdomen, lower ribs. Notice the diaphragm contract and flatten out. And then as you breathe out, notice how the diaphragm relaxes and goes back into its dome shape. And take 3 more. You can close your eyes if you're happy, or just have the eyes soft. And then let go of all breath control and notice how you feel. If you feel like that's even enough for you today, fatigue-wise, then please put your legs up onto your chair now or onto your couch. But we're going to do a few gentle twists before we come into a longer yoga nidra today. And some twists and some hip releases. So bring your right knee in towards your chest and hug it all the way in. And let's do this great hamstring release where you place your hands behind your thigh interlaced, but you have your leg really close to your chest. So you can start with your knee bent, really bent, and then you just start to take the sole of the foot towards the ceiling and stay where your thigh is close to your chest. And the next time you go to breathe in, imagine you're trying to arch your back. It won't be a big movement. And it's like you're trying to stomp your foot up onto the ceiling, but resist that movement with your arms. And then let your whole back spread like warm butter melting on sourdough, crumpets or fruit toast, whatever you love to eat. And as you breathe in, go to arch your back again and imagine you're trying to put your foot on the ceiling. You resist with your hands. And then let your back go, let your back go, let your back go. And do that one more time. Go to arch your back. Imagine you're trying to put your foot up on the ceiling. You resist with your hands. And the next time you breathe out, let your back melt like butter, spreading into a hot pan. And then draw the knee all the way in towards your chest or maybe towards your armpit. You're only trying to find your edge. And it's only you and your body that in the pose, so you're the only one who knows where your edge is. And then bring that knee back out a little from your chest and hold on to the outside of that knee. And then slowly just roll your leg out to the right. So you're starting to open up through the inner thigh. And as you do this, you'll notice that if you don't let the other leg, the left leg, roll out, your pelvis will come with you and you sort of start rolling to your right. So try and keep the back of the pelvis down by rolling the left leg out as well. That's it. And again, I want you to play with where is your edge. So this concept of edge in yoga where you can still breathe as easily as we were just before. Breathing with your diaphragm. Because if you try and open your leg too far, often what will happen is you're pushing into a stronger edge and it's hard to breathe. So let your breath indicate where that sweet spot is. And now almost imagine you're breathing into the resistance and letting it go. Then gently bring your legs back to the midline and cross this leg so that you're roll the thigh out on the right and come into threading the needle. So the outer edge, outer blade of the right foot comes to the outside of the left thigh. And there's so many variations of this threading the needle. A lot of you know it. So remember, the first thing you might do is just hold your leg in this position and even press your thigh away. And that might be your edge. If you're not quite at your edge, you might lift the left foot off the floor. You can interlace your hands and hold on behind your thigh. If you're still not quite at your edge, you might take the right arm and wrap it around the right leg so that the knee is nestled into your elbow. They're all just variations. So having your foot on the floor, if that's your edge, stay there and send your breath into that resistance. Just notice again, if you feel like you're straining your neck here, it's hard for me to see all you when you're all on the floor, you might need a towel under the back of your head. So if you feel like your chin is poking up to the ceiling, like so, then bring your towel and just place it underneath your head so that your chin is relaxed down. How gentle is the breath? Can you breathe with your diaphragm? See if you can keep your mind focused for 3 more breaths. And when you've completed the 3rd exhale, release the left foot if you lifted it up and cross your right leg all the way over your left like you're sitting cross-legged in a chair. So we're going to come into a twist. And in case you want to hold the twist, we need to do this little protection for your pelvic joints. So lift your hips up and just scoot your hips over to the right and then put them back down. And then roll your legs and your pelvis over to the left, keeping your right shoulder on the floor. Your right arm can be out in what I call a V, or you could slide the hand a little higher so it's in line with your shoulder in a T. And you turn and look towards the right. Now, if this is really strong for you, sometimes it's better to flow. So if it's better for you to flow, you'll come back to the middle and breathe out, let your legs go a little bit to the right. Remember, it won't be as far. It's a different twist. It's more about the outside of your leg on the left. Then come back to the middle and release your legs over to the left. So you decide, is it better for you to hold or flow? And if you're not sure, just try. Have a little play with both and see what serves you now in this moment. Because every time we come to the mat, every time we come to a pose, what we need can be really different. And whether you're flowing or you're holding, the next time you breathe in, slowly roll your legs back to the middle, uncross the legs, square your hips up by lifting your hips a little and putting them back down. And bring both knees into your chest again. And this time have your legs parallel. And just notice how the right one feels compared to the left. And you might even like to take your knees a little wider and come into what's called bear cub. And in bear cub, you can have your legs like so. Or you can start to take the soles of the feet towards the ceiling, and you can hold on behind your knees, you can hold on to your shins, or I always have to remember I've got long arms for my body, so I can reach my feet. So you don't have to reach your feet, just hold wherever's comfortable for you. And in this happy baby, you might like to rock a little from side to side, and just see if you can sense how much freer this right leg might feel compared to the side we haven't done yet. And then come back to the middle. Release your feet for a moment. I'll just spin around so you can see me. And then draw that left knee in towards your chest. And remember, the first thing you want to do is bring your left leg in as close as you can with your knee bent. And now to get into the hamstring muscle, you start to move your knee towards straight without letting your thigh come away. So you know the traditional way people would do it would be having their leg way out here and the knee straight. But when you do that, often all you feel is in the back of the knee and into the calf. So bring your knee in first with your leg really bent. Keep your thigh as close as you can and then move it towards straight. And the knee won't be as straight as it was in the other version. And then imagine you're trying to arch your back and stomp your foot to the ceiling. Then let your back melt. Imagine it spreading like pancake batter in a hot pan and let your leg come in. And do that twice more. So if your leg is shaking, that's often an indication that you're going a bit too far past your edge. So come bend your knee a little more. Still have the thigh quite close to your chest, or as close as is comfortable for you. And when you finish the third exhale, let the knee bend. Hold on to the outside of the thigh and around the level of the knee, and start to let your leg roll out to the left. Remember to keep the pelvis flat. You might need to let the right leg roll out as well. And again, you're trying to find the edge or the stretch in the inner thigh or wherever you feel it. And once you find that place, send your breath into the resistance. Breathing with your diaphragm if you can. So upper chest really relaxed. Doesn't need to be the deepest belly breath you can do, because ideally you're using your diaphragm rather than just pooching the belly. Sometimes we think we're using our diaphragm and we're just forcing the belly to expand. And then the next time you need to breathe in with your hand on the outside of the knee and thigh, you bring the leg back to the midline. You know, roll your leg out now and bring the outer blade of that left foot to the outside of the right thigh, threading the needle. And remember, your hips can be really, really different. So you have to be in the moment, be here now and notice, how does this side feel? Where is my edge? And it might be that you keep the right foot on the floor, or maybe you lift it off the floor. Maybe you take your hands and interlace them behind the thigh. Or the next version would be to wrap the elbow around the knee. But notice what happened to your head and neck. If you need that blanket underneath your head, please adjust. And remember, your edge is where your mind would not possibly wander. So sometimes if we push the edge too far, the mind will wander. But also if we just hang back and have a little holiday, which you can in this pose too, then you might notice that you create shopping lists or whatever your mind starts to think about. So find the place where you can breathe and stay focused. Three more breaths. 3 more breaths is about the average time that the thinking mind can stay really focused. So even label the breath if you need to. And breathing out, number 3. Let the breath come in, and then I'm breathing out, number 2. Let the breath come in. I'm breathing out, number 1. And then lower the foot. Cross the leg all the way over. Pick up your hips first by pressing down through the foot on the floor and scooch the hips slightly to the left. Arms can be in that V or the T, and you slowly roll your pelvis and your legs over to the right. And you're trying to keep your left shoulder blade down, looking across to the left. Or if it's better for your neck to just look straight up, honour that. Remember, if you'd like to flow, you'll come back to centre as you breathe in and breathe out. Let your legs roll to the left. Remember, this twist won't be as deep, and you might feel it more in the outside of the legs and the waist. And then come back to centre. Roll the pelvis over to the right, turning the head to the left. So you choose now whether it's better for you to flow or to stay still. And again, if your thinking mind is busy, then give it something to do. Let it mentally label the breath. Let the breath come in. I breathe out, number 3. Let the breath come in. I breathe out, number 2. I breathe out, number 1. And decide whether that's enough for you, or you could do another 3 breaths. Everyone can take your own time, and when you feel it's right for you to come back to the middle, come back to the midline and bring your knees into your chest in your own timing. And let's go back into, when you do come back to the middle, go back into that little bear cub and notice how it feels as you rock from side to side, either holding behind your knees, holding your shins or your feet. And then bring your knees back into your chest. And now it's time for Yoga Nidra. So when you're in here, or when we get the gear to you, if things don't change, then you could use a bolster. So, because you don't have a bolster at home, a lot of you, I would encourage you to put your legs back up on the chair or the couch. So you can do either. So you could have, because you're here, you can have that underneath your knees. Yeah, that's right. And remember, in Yoga Nidra, we're going to do a slightly longer one today. We'll do it more like 20 minutes, and I will voice record this one on my phone as well. Your body temperature does lower because you're stimulating your parasympathetic nervous system and calming your sympathetic nervous system even more. So it's a really good idea to actually cover yourself with a blanket. So take your time, get comfy, put your socks on if you want your socks on, and make sure that you're really, really comfortable as you prepare yourself for the practice of Yoga Nidra. So take your time to make sure you're as comfortable as you possibly can. Make any little adjustments you need to make sure you're as comfortable as you can as you prepare yourself for Yoga Nidra. I'll turn the lights off in a minute. Over your eyes if you like. And I reckon you need that one underneath.
Okay.
So take your time to make sure you're as comfortable as you can, having something underneath your knees or your legs up on the couch. For the practice of Yoga Nidra now begins. Take your awareness to any noises that you can hear outside of the room. Become aware of any noises outside of the room. And see if you can hear them as a vibration. Letting go of all labels, letting go of any judgment. Pure vibration. And move your awareness from vibration to vibration. Letting go of this. And bring your awareness now to any noises within the room. And again, see if you can hear them as a vibration. Letting go of the temptation to even label the noise, to define the noise. And letting go of this. Now it is time to bring your attention to the noises within your body. Your heartbeat, your pulse. And let all your awareness settle into your body. Feel all of the points of contact between the back of the body and the floor. Now it is time to make a resolve or a sankalpa. And a resolve is something that you've forgotten about your true self. And you state it in a way that it already is. I am. Fill in the blank and repeat it to yourself mentally, allowing it to permeate deeper and deeper into your being as you repeat it 3 times. Letting go of this. And now it is time to rotate your awareness around your physical body. As I mention the parts of the body, feel, sense, and release that which is named. Maybe even mentally repeating its name. Bring all your focus to the thumb of your right hand. Relaxing the right hand thumb. Index finger. Middle finger. Ring finger. little finger, the palm of the hand, back of the hand, your right wrist, lower arm, the right elbow, your right upper arm, the right shoulder and armpit, the right side of the chest and the waist, right hip, thigh, knee and kneecap, shin, calf, ankle, heel, sole of the foot, top of the foot, your right big toe, second toe, third, fourth, fifth. Feel, sense and relax all of your toes, the whole of the right leg, the whole of the right arm, the whole right side of the body. Then bring all your focus to your left hand thumb, relaxing the thumb on the left, index finger, middle finger, ring finger, little finger, the palm of the hand, back of the hand, wrist, lower arm, elbow, upper arm, your left shoulder and armpit, the left side of the chest and waist, hip, thigh, knee and kneecap, shin, calf, ankle, heel, the sole of the left foot, top of the left foot, your left big toe, second toe, third, fourth, fifth. Feel, sense and release all 5 toes on the left, the whole of the left foot, whole of the left leg, the whole of the right arm, the whole of the left arm, both legs, both arms. Relaxing the right buttock, left buttock, your tailbone, the whole of the bony pelvis, organs of the pelvis, the whole pelvis, the right side of the lower back, left side of the lower back, your abdomen, diaphragm, ribs, breastbone, collarbones, right shoulder blade, left shoulder blade, the space between the shoulder blades, all of your ribs, all of your mid-back, all of the upper back, the right side of the neck, left side of the neck, front of the neck, back of the neck, the base of the skull, your whole spine, tip of tailbone to base of skull. Scalp, skull, brain, right temple and ear, left temple and ear, your forehead, right eyebrow, left eyebrow, the space between the eyebrows, right eye, left eye, your nose, behind both eyes, the right cheek and jaw, left cheek and jaw, lips, tongue, teeth. Feel, sense and release the whole of the head, neck, right side of the body, left side of the body, whole body, whole body, whole body. Keeping your awareness at the blank screen of the mind behind your eyes, behind your forehead. Watch this space, and from here witness the body breathing. Resist any temptation to change how your body is breathing, but rather watch the body breathe. And welcome the breath in. And when the body breathes out, label it number 23. Watch the next breath in. And as the body breathes out, mentally say to yourself, 22. Wait until the body needs to breathe in. And as you watch the body breathe out, 21. And continue now labeling the exhale backwards towards 1. Witnessing the breath in, labeling the breath out. If the mind wanders off and you lose count, go back to 23 and begin again. Letting go of this, keeping your awareness, the blank screen of the mind, behind your eyes, behind your forehead. As I mention these images, feel, sense, and maybe see with the mind's eye that which is named. The flame of a burning candle. A burning candle flame. The sound of rain on the tin roof. The gentle sound of rain on the tin roof. Gentle rain on the tin roof. The sun rising over the ocean. The sunrise over the ocean. The rising sun over the ocean. Birds flying through a clear blue winter sky. Birds flying through a clear blue winter sky. A kookaburra laughing high in the tree. A kookaburra laughing. A kookaburra laughing. A snow-capped mountain. A snow-capped mountain. A snow-capped mountain. The sun setting. Setting sun. The sun setting. A full moon rising over the horizon. A full moon rising over the horizon. Waves rolling into a deserted beach. Waves rolling into a deserted beach. The endless waves rolling in to a deserted beach. letting go of this, keeping your awareness, the blank screen of the mind, behind the eyes, behind the forehead. Now it is time to repeat your sankalpa, or your resolve. Repeat it exactly as you did at the beginning of this yoga nidra, 3 times, sending it deeper and deeper into your being. Letting go of this. Start to become aware of the weight of the physical body on the floor in your room. Become aware of all of your points of contact on the floor. And begin to lengthen the breath. And imagine that you're drawing that lengthening breath from the core of the earth. Bring it to your navel. And let it spread into every single cell in your body. When you breathe out, imagine that you're bringing your breath back from every single cell in your body to your navel. And let it spread from here like an anchor or a root deep into the earth, grounding you into your body, grounding you into the earth. And keep breathing with this grounding breath, drawing your breath from the earth, sending your breath deep into the earth to anchor you. And start to move now in whatever way you feel guided. You might bring your knees into your chest. You might feel like you'd like to stretch your arms over your head and stretch long. Notice what you need. And then when you're ready, you'll roll over onto your side and pause there, feeling the weight of the body grounding you into the floor. For the practice of Yoga Nidra is complete. And then take your time to make your way up into a seated pose. And as you come up into sitting, feel free to sit on your chair again. If you're comfortable sitting, like I am in Vajrasana, where you sit your buttocks onto your heels, you could do that. Or feel free to sit up high on the chair. I might do that. I've been sitting like that for half an hour. And let's finish with where we began, the alternate nostril breathing. So just take a moment to notice, are your nostrils open and clear? And if they are, you bring your dominant hand up, index and middle finger touch the point between the eyebrows. You close off the right nostril and you breathe in through the left. Then you gently close the left, open the right, and exhale smoothly and easefully through the right. Remember, it's fine to do the practice without the hand. You'll breathe in through the right, closing off the right, exhaling through the left. And let's do one more round, or let that go now if that's better for you. If you're doing one more round, you breathe in through the left, close the left, open the right, exhale right. Inhale right, close the right, open the left, and exhale through the left. Lowering your hand if you were doing the version with your hand. And just notice with soft eyes or closed eyes, notice the effects of this practice. Keep your hands where they are if you would like to bring your hands to your heart space. For it is with great respect and infinite love for ourselves and all beings that we now conclude this practice. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Peace, peace, peace. I honor that place in you where light, love, and truth dwell. For when you rest in that place in you, and I dwell in that place in me, we are connected. Namaste. Thank you. Thanks for joining me. I'll just stop recording so we can chat if you need to.